You want to hear a grown man scream? What do you mean by that? Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Daisha's Digest. The topic of today's video is it's just a prank. So we have two stories. They both have updates, and all of the information will be included in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll go ahead and get into it. So the first story is titled, Am I the A-hole for getting hurt and upset over a harmless prank that my husband pulled? Now, there is a trigger warning for this for abuse, harm, just FYI. It takes a turn very quickly. So it reads, so me and my husband have been married for 5 years. We are currently female 24 and male 33. Way before we met, when I was 16, my mom's house had a house fire that burned nearly everything down, and sadly, my childhood cat was also killed in it. I remember my mom and brother waking me up screaming, "Fire, fire, get up, get up." We crawled out under the smoke, and luckily my neighbors had already called the fire department and they pulled us out. We lost literally everything. We were devastated. So that was a while ago, but it still really scares me, and I check outlets and our stove and candles and everything all the time. My husband knows this about me. So 2 nights ago, I went to bed early because I am currently 34 weeks pregnant, literally about to pop. I was sleeping for a while before, for some reason, my husband decided to wake me up by yelling, "Baby, there's a fire, 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 get up." As quick as I could get up at 34 weeks, I did and grabbed my purse. I was just in automatic shock and just autopilot and knew what I needed to grab. I made it all the way down the stairs, yelling for my husband to follow me before he started laughing and telling me it was a joke. Now, if somebody has been through a traumatic experience, you making a joke out of that traumatic experience is not a joke. And your fully pregnant wife at that, you waking her up in the middle of the night for some nonsense. OP says, it took a minute for that to process. I stood there with an open mouth while he laughed and ushered me down the rest of the stairs. I sat down on the couch and just started sobbing. It was genuinely the hardest I've ever sobbed. It's like I couldn't get myself to stop and my whole body was shaking. My heart was racing and I couldn't breathe. I have never had this experience before. I was genuinely so panicked. I was so freaking upset. My husband apologized and was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. It was just a joke." It infuriates me when people do these dumbass things and then they try to just dismiss it with, "It was just a joke." All right, bro, but when you over there getting your butt beat behind a joke, don't come crawling to me. Just because you think something is a joke doesn't mean that the other person has to accept it. And this is not a joke. A joke is supposed to be funny. Where is the punchline? This is not funny at all. Oh my goodness. She said, I just cried until eventually he was like, "What the F? It was just a prank. This is really dramatic." Bro is a grade A jerk. What the heck? After a few hours, I had calmed myself down and went to apologize to him. Every sentence I read is just, "You apologize to him?" She says he wouldn't take it. He said I was being overdramatic and made him feel like crap for a harmless prank. So I guess, am I the a-hole? I've never been good at taking jokes. I've been trying to be less sensitive, but I don't know. Girl, get out of there. This man is manipulating you. You are 34 weeks pregnant with his baby. He got you at the very least, even if you didn't have this history of having this traumatic event where your house burned down and your cat died and you lost everything, even without that, the pure disgust that I feel at this man for getting his 34 week, I can't even talk, fully pregnant wife up in the middle of her sleep in a panic, thinking that the house is burning down. What kind of person are you? Then you got her feeling bad to where she's apologizing? Get out of there, girl. Do you have somebody you can call? Where's your mama at? This is terrible. Some additional information from the comments. OP explains why she apologized. She said, I apologized because he made a big deal about me making him feel horrible. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just feel so infuriated at this. On how often her husband plays pranks on her and makes jokes at her expense, OP said he doesn't, but it's an often argument that I'm too sensitive. On comments that the fire happened when OP and her husband were already dating, her at 16 and husband at 24, OP said, this is not true. We met when I was 18. Still, so she was 18 and he was 26. I'm not feeling good about those numbers. Then it says, when asked if husband is happy about the baby, if he is a narcissist, and if there are other red flags in the relationship, OP responded, he's happy. He's the one who wanted a baby. I don't think he is a narcissist, though I'm not sure the definition of that. And no, I don't think there are red flags other than what is being pointed out in the comments I'm reading. That is mostly that he tries to make me feel sensitive in our ages, but I always knew that and I never cared. It sounds to me like he got himself a young tenderoni and he did a little bit of grooming. Like I'm not feeling good about this situation at all. Some more comments. Someone said, no, you're absolutely not the a-hole. That wasn't a harmless prank when he knows your past trauma. It also wouldn't have been a harmless prank even without that trauma because you are pregnant. Literally what I said. They continue, the adrenaline spike from something like that could have easily sent you into preterm labor. And while I'm sure you feel ready to pop, you're not yet full term, and the baby's lungs are the last to develop. He's definitely the a-hole, but more than that, that was psychological abuse. It was not a prank, it was not funny, and it very well could have done physical harm as well. And now he's trying to gaslight you into thinking that you're the problem. Please be very careful and keep yourself safe. 100% agree. Another comment, when I read what he did, my first thought was, this is not a harmless prank. I know babies can survive outside of the womb at 34 weeks, but the risk of complications is so high at this stage still. He literally put his wife and child's lives at risk for a joke that isn't even funny. Someone else, it was never meant to be funny. It was intended to harm, with just enough plausible deniability to be able to convince her that he was just joking and that he deserves the apology rather than her. That is just... And someone said, and maybe the most important, what the F is wrong with him for pulling a prank on you while you are pregnant? And not just pregnant, but literally about to pop pregnant. You're not supposed to go through like any stress right now, not even the stress from an actual harmless prank. He is freaking lucky his BS didn't cause harm to the baby or push you into early labor or something. This was a super dangerous and mean thing to do. You don't need to apologize. He does. Period. OP replied, I didn't even think about this. I am 34 weeks, but I still need at least 2 more to make sure the baby is fully grown and healthy. That could have been horrible. Oh, this is stressing me. I just keep thinking about the ages. So he met her when she was 18 and he was 26. So they had an 8-year gap, which like 8 years isn't a lot depending on the range. An 18-year-old dating a 26-year-old is crazy to me. But maybe a 40-year-old dating a 48-year-old, that's more acceptable. You see what I'm saying? Like, it depends on the range. In this case, it seemed to me like he couldn't get a girl his own age. He went for this young, inexperienced 18-year-old, groomed her, is manipulating her, and he sound like he don't even like her for real. Because who would do this to somebody that they love? Their pregnant wife? Like, who would do this? That's just crazy. Anyways, so there was an update that was about a month later. She said, a month ago, I posted my first post, which is still up on my account. I was terrified and hurt and confused, and the comments really helped me sort through everything going on. A week later, I went into preterm labor and gave birth to my baby at 35 weeks. A week after that, my husband, and this is the part where I said there was a trigger warning, guys, trigger warning. Harmful, harmful, harmful. Please Just be aware. A week after that, my husband beat me unconscious when he caught me Googling the signs of an abusive marriage. After he coerced me into intimacy a week postpartum. Today, I filed for divorce and secured a restraining order on him. My husband will never lay a hand on me or my baby ever again. I cannot confidently say that I would have made that decision without the help of my original post. So thank you so very much. I think maybe people do not realize how much you can help a stranger on the internet, but you can. And all of you did. I will be the woman who leaves after the first time. I will be the best mother I can be, and that starts with leaving him. Thank you. I feel like I need to do the palate cleanser right now. Your child is a week old, not even a child, a newborn. Your wife just gave birth to your child early, went through this huge health risk to bring your child into the world, and then you assault her to the point where she's unconscious. That is just, I'm so glad she left. I am so glad she left. Let me go to her page. That is, the account has been suspended. Dang. Okay, let me see if I can Google to see if there's anything else, because this was 4 months ago. I'm not seeing anything else, but this whole thing is just terrible. The best thing she could have said is that she left. There was just so many things. Let me go to the next story. Okay, so the title of this one is Thinking About Not Attending My Brother's Wedding Because of His Fiance's Prank on My Husband. I am 25 female. My husband is 30 male. My brother, 32 male, and his fiance, 31 female, recently came to visit us in our city. My partner and I are new homeowners, and they were staying with us for the first time. My brother's fiance loves Halloween. She is also a Disney adult and has a childlike side to her, which comes out sometimes. She's just super absorbed when it comes to her interests. Anyway, I'm just sharing this for context because my perspective is that she often gets carried away, and I genuinely feel what I am going to describe was the result of one of those moments where she just took it too far and suffered some negative consequences. She is, however, taking it as a very personal attack. So we disagree, and the disagreement resulted in my husband cutting their visit short, aka they were asked to leave. 31 female, my brother's fiance, has made comments more than a few times now since meeting him that my husband gives off a dark vibe. She is always comparing him to characters from various books she reads. It's not necessarily criticism. She always explains that they are compliments. Well, I'm not sure anymore. Her reasons for these comparisons are based on his looks, the general vibe he gives off, and his tattoo. He only has one, but it's on his hand. During this recent visit, she mentioned she would love to see someone like him get scared because she can't imagine him getting startled or letting out a scream. Scaring him became her goal during her stay with us. None of us knew about it, not even my brother. I'm not gonna lie, this lady seems annoying. She seems annoying. Leave me alone. The incident causing all the trouble is that she tried to jump scare my husband in the garage. It was dark and she ambushed him in the garage while wearing a full outfit and mask when he was returning from a run. Well, he didn't let out the scream she wanted. He instinctively reacted by shoving her against the wall. She hit her head and was quite shaken up. Luckily, he realized very quickly by the sound she made that it likely wasn't an intruder. He switched the lights on and pulled her mask off. He told me he was very confused in the moment. Why would she attack him? My husband helped her inside, apologized, made her tea, and then called me. I was out with my brother. When we got home, I asked 31 female if she was okay, and I said her prank was stupid to do because she could have gotten seriously hurt. I don't know if it was what I said that bothered her or if she was just waiting for her partner to come home, but she launched into crying about how my husband used an excessive amount of force, knowing it was most likely her just doing a harmless prank. How would he have known that? He wasn't expecting you to prank him at all. He's just coming home from a run, and there's a strange figure in his dark garage. How would he have the wherewithal to know that it was you? Come on now. Opie says, in a nutshell, my husband asked her straightforwardly, "Are you implying I intentionally assaulted you?" She hesitated but chose to say yes, and my husband responded to that with, "Get out of my house." I tried to smooth it, but my husband was adamant. If that's what she genuinely believes, she's not welcome to stay. 31 female chose to stick to her accusation. I decided to side with my husband. My brother is angry with me. He thinks I should have tried to do damage control and let them stay by convincing my husband to lean more into apologizing and placating his fiancee, who was just recovering from the situation. I'm sorry, but sis, it was your fault. You are in dark clothing in a man's garage, in the dark. He reacted how he reacted. Like, what did you expect? Opie says he thinks this whole thing would have blown over if I'd helped my husband fold. I find this unfair. My brother was counting on me to handle all this, yet he didn't speak up during the conversation or try to talk sense into his fiancée. My husband remained calm the entire time, but he obviously felt insulted by her remarks, and I think that's valid. Why should I have taken my brother's fiance's side over my own husband, especially when I feel like she was wrong for doing all that, then turning around and accusing my husband of wanting to hurt her? My brother says I was short-sighted and should think of their upcoming wedding, but I think he is the one who needs to get his fiancée to apologize to my husband. I agree, sis. I am fully on board with that. I don't know what your brother got going on, but he got to figure it out because his girl was in the wrong. She said, editing to add the text below in an attempt to answer some things that are getting lost in comments. I would like to clarify, when I meant I tried to smooth the situation, I was not taking 31 females' side or doubting my husband in any way. It's so funny how she's just calling her 31 female. Like most of the time people give all the players in the story like a fake name. I don't know why that's funny to me. Anyway, she said, I simply tried to get everyone to consider tabling this until emotions had cooled down. And by those emotions, I meant the hysterics of my brother's fiance. My husband was calm throughout, although there was an obvious finality about his decision. He made his statement and disengaged. As mentioned, my brother looked to me, hoping I'd persuade my husband, but I didn't, so they had to leave. What did he expect? You're accusing me of assault? And I didn't even, it was your fault. I didn't purposely, she continues, the costume. I mentioned in a comment that I didn't get an opportunity to ask that night if she bought an outfit specifically for this prank or if it was my brother's Halloween costume. They go to adult Halloween parties, and we're attending one this weekend 2 hours from where we live. It was part of my brother's costume, a mask, like a golden masquerade one, but more coverage. It reminded me of the gold/jeweled animal masks from Squid Game, or something you'd wear to a Rothschild party in the 70s. And she had on a long robe/cloak with a hood. People asked me to update. I will do that. Please look at my comments too in case I already answered a question you might have, but I think these two were the ones I saw pop up the most. I'm sorry I can't keep up with all the comments. I really tried. I will be showing this thread to my brother. Yeah, I don't think they were the a-hole. If I were, it literally was a knee-jerk reaction. Now I could see if he shoved her and then just started wailing or something, then I would be like, bro, but it was just a knee-jerk reaction. That's, I just don't understand. Somebody said if she hadn't hidden in the dark garage in a hooded costume, none of this would have happened. There's no way he would have known in the moment that it was her, and I believe anyone would have a similar reaction. Frankly, she's lucky she was not hurt more than she was. There's a direct cause and effect here. yet she's not accepting responsibility. I think her behavior falls into the play stupid games category. Your husband doesn't have anything to apologize for, and it's offensive for them to try to obfuscate her responsibility, not the a-hole. Another person said exactly this. It's one thing to come out of a closet in a well-lit room and completely another to jump someone in a dark garage. She's lucky he didn't break her nose or her jaw. Someone else said, I live in Oklahoma. She's lucky she didn't get shot. That's what I was thinking, child, because I'm from Texas. Everybody got guns out there. The next comment said, Texas here. Getting shot is a real possibility. That's beyond stupid on her part. I can guarantee you that I will not be attacked again. Not funny. Right. Someone said, not the a-hole. Your future sister-in-law is deranged. She attacked someone coming into his own home. He reacted accordingly. How would he know it was her? She messed around and found out. Your brother should have told her it's her own fault. Be prepared for more dramatics once they're married and go low contact now. Nothing will ever be her fault. Edit to add, call your family now and tell them what happened before they spin it and blame your husband for reacting appropriately. And then the last comment, their relationship dynamics are concerning. You might want to distance yourself from her drama. That's sad, because I would hate to have to go low contact with any of my siblings because of their partner. So update 19 days later, I got a lot of messages requesting an update. I have never made one before, so I hope I'm going about this correctly. To recap my previous post, my 25 female brother's fiance, 31 female, decided to jump scare my husband, 30 male, in our dark garage because she wanted to get a reaction from him and possibly hear him scream. As ridiculous as it sounds, this is the only motive we have been able to get out of her. My husband responded to her jump scare by instinctively shoving her against the wall. Luckily for her, he heard her voice and recognized that it wasn't an intruder. He apologized to her in that moment, helped her inside, and calmed her down. He told me he was gentle and understanding, but once she was seated and started to calm down, he made it very clear to her that her actions were reckless and could have led to serious harm. It's my personal opinion that she didn't like the change in his demeanor and being told off because it meant she was no longer the victim, but the transgressor. In a crappy attempt to get herself out of the hot seat, she decided to accuse my husband of using excessive force, implying that he intentionally assaulted her, even though she was the one who initiated the whole situation. This led to an emotional reaction from my brother and heightened the tension between him and my husband. My husband was zero tolerance about the theatrics. Future sister-in-law was in hysterics, and my brother got riled up about it, and he kicked them both out. Update, I tried to talk to my brother multiple times after the incident, but each attempt ended in silence because I refused to give in to his demands. He wanted my husband and me to apologize to his fiance, starting with me downplaying the whole situation so she wouldn't feel bad about her prank. No, bro, don't marry that guy. I hope the brother doesn't marry her because she's too much. She's too much. I hesitated to send him the Reddit post I'd made. Initially, I thought it might work against us to make things worse, but his total inability to reason with me or see the situation for what it was became beyond frustrating. Since I couldn't physically deliver a cold hard slap to his face for asking me to be complacent and allowing my husband to be falsely accused of assault, I figured the next best thing would be for him to read all your comments. Following the advice I got here, I tried to get ahead of the situation by informing my parents. My dad, a reasonable and practical man, immediately sided with my husband. His comments were similar to what a lot of people here had said, focusing on how dangerous and reckless the prank was and the ramifications of being falsely accused of assault. My mom, who unfortunately has always favored my brother, suggested we at least hear her out, referring to my brother's fiance. As livid as I was about her reaction, I wasn't surprised by it. My dad did try to shut down her skepticism, but she remained on my brother's side for a few days until I showed them footage from my brother's Tesla, which he had tried to delete. Ooh. The Sentry thing. Sorry if I'm using the terminology incorrectly, I'm not a Tesla owner. Recorded part of the interaction in the garage, not the jump scare itself, but the aftermath, which, in my opinion, was more crucial. My husband's account was confirmed. He used a measured amount of force to immobilize her and was prepared to escalate if necessary, which is beyond generous for someone to do in a situation like that, and definitely not owed. Many of you speculated that she might have a fixation or even a crush on my husband, and I'm starting to reconsider some past interactions with that in mind. I was also thinking that too. Especially her comparing him to like book characters. I don't know. It was given like book talk, romance, obsession. Like, I don't know. It was giving something like that. Like, you want to hear a grown man scream? What do you mean by that? What's going on here? Yeah, she's a little off. So OP continued, I also misunderstood what dark books she expressed she enjoyed and compared my fiance to. I learned from comments here that they are actually a subtype of the romance genre. I didn't know she was comparing him to characters in romance novels because one of the characters I recall her comparing my husband to was from a book about dragons. I genuinely wish I still remembered the names of various characters she's mentioned over the months so I could satisfy my own curiosity, but my brain glossed over the names during conversations. We have a group chat for the wedding, which includes my brother, my parents, my brother's fiance, and her parents. In that chat, I addressed the incident but didn't share the Tesla footage, only mentioned that it exists. Her parents didn't respond in the chat, though I know they saw the message. Later, her mom called mine. Apparently, they had no idea about the prank. It's hard to say whether they believe me or if they've taken their daughter's side after speaking with her. My brother's fiance and my brother have both extended apologies to my husband and have requested our presence at their upcoming wedding. Okay. My parents, trying to keep the peace, have encouraged us to go, saying it's the honorable thing to do. I don't know, something is not right with me. I have a feeling that the brother's fiance is obsessed with OP's husband, that the brother low-key knows this and is just kind of like going along with it for what reason, I don't know. Maybe he thinks that like once they're married, the obsession will stop. I don't know. Something weird is going on here. I can't put my finger on it, but I don't think I would be going to that wedding. Okay, so she continues, so for the sake of family formality, we've decided to attend. However, my husband has made it clear that we'll be there out of obligation. We will be keeping a distance from them going forward. We haven't explicitly stated it, but there will be no future invitations to our home, not even for the holiday dinner we had planned before all this happened. My husband is going to minimize all future interaction with my brother's fiance. I don't think we'll ever trust her again. I'll try to spend some one-on-one time with my brother to gauge where we stand. Our relationship feels strained, and this incident has made me realize that I lost him to her not long before this happened, something I hadn't fully recognized until now. Thanks to everyone for sharing your opinions. A reporter from a news outlet reached out to me, and I remember requesting that if anyone uses my story, I would like them to pass along the following sentiment. I hope that if you share my story, you can help highlight the dangers of ambush-style pranks. These type of pranks create a threatening environment and put everyone involved at risk of serious harm or injury. They are stupid and dangerous. No one should have to feel threatened or be in a position where their safety is compromised for the sake of a prank. If that's the setup, then it's not a prank. Actions like these will always have consequences some of which may be irreparable, and no prank is worth the risk of someone getting hurt. Well said, OP, and I completely agree with that message and have read it and passed it along. Then editing to add a little footnote. I understand people get curious and invested, but please consider this my final update. If necessary, I will update again in the future, but it will be unlikely, and I assure you it won't be anytime soon. I got a lot of DMs requesting updates on the previous post, so I thought I'd place this disclaimer here. And another edit to fix the formatting. I wrote this post in my notes app first, which was a dodo move apparently. Sorry, I suck at this. And so then some more comments. Still not the a-hole, and your sister-in-law is still lucky that all she got was a shove against the wall. Doing dumb stuff tends to get people unalived more often than not. Someone else, please make sure to keep a copy of that video and, if possible, a written statement from your future sister-in-law. She can always backtrack and try to ruin your husband's life with a false accusation. Opie said, we have a copy. My husband pulled the footage the night the incident happened while the rest of us were still talking. I didn't mention it in an edit because he was waiting to see if my brother would be willing to show it to us himself and was going to send the post I made to my brother. When my brother didn't bring it forward, I revealed it. Oh, wow. So somehow the husband was able to get the footage from the Tesla. I don't know nothing about no Teslas, child. And basically they were bluffing, asking OP's brother, like, hey, can we get the video from the Tesla, just to see if he would give it to them, even though they already had a copy of it. I was wondering, like, how did they get the video? So the last comment says, that's good. I would still be very careful with your whole family. Your husband was attacked, and it seems they are all very happy to keep it hush-hush. I know you're trying your best, and I applaud you for it, but please never forget they are willing to appease that psycho no matter the consequences to your husband. This was November 9th. Let me see if there's any update on her page. I hope so. Let's cross our fingers. No, there's no update yet. Dang. Well, we will keep an eye on it to see if anything else comes up. I don't know. I just have a feeling that the wedding is gonna be dramatic. I just have a feeling, a suspicion that something is gonna happen at the wedding. So that was the last story, and that brings us to our palate cleanser. Now, before we go to the palate cleanser, I just wanted to quickly remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. Oops, sorry. And I wanted to shout out my other YouTube channel. If you like vlogs or lifestyle content, I have another channel. This one is my second channel. The other one I had like years and years before this one, and I made it a goal for this year to make sure that I post on there more regularly. I already have a full catalog of videos that I've already done on there that you can binge, but there will be new content coming, so just wanted to shout that out. I will put the link in the description. So let's go ahead and go to this palate cleanser. Oh my God. It is so funny to me. There's this band playing in a lobby somewhere, and the title on the post is Whitney Houston Would Be Proud. So the band is playing a Whitney Houston song, I Want to Dance with Somebody. But the funniest part of it is the trombone player's dance skills. It is just so funny to me. He is just moving and grooving with this trombone, honey. Fun fact, I used to play trombone in 7th grade. It was the only instrument I ever played. I only played for 1 year, but yes. I couldn't get my embouchure correct for any other instrument. I really wanted to play the flute, but I just couldn't get the mouth part down. But this is so funny. Just watch. Look at him. And he is. Oh my goodness. It gets better, y'all. Just watch. What is it? Bro. Bruh, that's hilarious. I'm gonna probably watch that a few more times. Phew. Some people are so funny. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.